Hello dear students, how are you? I wish all of you will be healthy and safe. So students, in this video I am going to tell you about sorting. Okay. First of all, you should know what is sorting. Sorting is the arrangement of your data either in ascending or descending order. Okay. So arranging your data either in ascending or descending order is known as sorting. So there are various techniques to arrange your data like bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort, heap sort, merge sort, radical sort, quick sort, bucket sort, etc. Okay, but in but only three techniques are there in your syllabus: bubble sort, insertion sort, and selection sort. Okay, so about these technique, about remaining techniques, you will learn in higher classes in BCA or MCA. Okay, so first of all, you should know what is bubble sort. So in bubble sort technique, bubble sort computes all the elements one by one and sort them based on their values. Okay, so you have to remember compares all the element one by one. Okay, if the given list has to be sorted in ascending order, if you want to arrange the list in ascending order, so in this case, bubble sort will start by comparing the first element of the list with the second element. If first element is greater than second element, it will swap both the element. Okay, first of all it will compare the two element first and second element. If first element is greater than second one, then they will exchange their position, means they will swap with each other, and then move on to the compare the second and third element and so on. After swapping, after that they will compare second and third element, after the third and fourth and fifth, and this process will continue until you will not get the sorted array. Okay, if we have n elements, then we need to repeat this process for n minus 1 time. You have to remember that if you have n elements, so you have to repeat this process n minus 1 time. Okay, so now get it with an example. Okay, suppose you have a list like this 51428. So how many elements you have? You have 1 2 3 4 5. You have 5 elements in your list. If you have 5 elements, then you have to repeat this process 5 minus 1 means 4 times. Okay, so how this technique works, let's see. First of all, it will compare first and second element. If the first element is greater than second one, then they will exchange their position. Now you can see, now 1 will be swapped to 5. Okay, so 1 will be on first position and 5 will be on second position. Okay, now next one. Next, they will come second and third position element will be compared. Okay, if 5 is greater than 4, they will exchange the position again. So now 5 will be here and 4 will be here and 5 will be here. Okay, now you have compare first and second, second and third. Now the turns to third and fourth. Okay, now 5 and 2 will be compared with each other. Now 5 is greater than 2. It means they will exchange their position. Now after swapping, then you will get 2 and 5 like this. Okay, and at last 5 and 8 will be compared with each other. 5 is greater than 8. No. So in this case, there will be no swapping. So this is about the first pass. Okay, so you have to use n minus 1 passes. If you have 5 elements, so in this case you have to pass the list, you have to repeat this process 4 times. Okay, and this what will happen in the second pass. So in second pass, the comparison will be reduced. So in the first pass you have 1 2 3 4. There are 4 comparisons with the 4 times comparison, but in second pass, now after completing first pass, you can see the greatest element of the list is swapped to the last position. You can see now. Okay, so in the next pass, the 8 will not be compared because 8 is already sorted. Okay, and the what will happen? And now you have the this list 1 4 2 8 2 5 8. Now again repeat this process. 1 is compared to 4. 1 is greater than 4. No, so no swapping will be done. 4 is greater than 2. Now in the next comparison, 4 is greater than 2. Yes, now they will exchange their position. Okay. Now 4 is greater than 5. No, so no swapping will be done. Okay. So in the second pass, you can see the second element is on the second position. Okay. So now the array is already sorted. Now you can see the your list is sorted, but your algorithm does not know how. No, it is completed. So algorithm needs one whole process without any swap to know it's sorted, because you have n elements. So you have to repeat this process n minus one time. Either you have sorted array in first pass also. Okay. So in third pass, 1 and 2 will be compared, because one is not greater than 2, so it will not swap. Then 2 and 4 will be compared. Okay, no swapping will be done. In the fourth pass, only 1 and 2 will be compared, and there is no swapping. So after fourth pass, you will get your shorted array. So this is the bubble short technique. Let's say the water bubble. You know about the water bubble? In water bubble, the large bubble come outside first. So in the similar way, in the bubble shot, the greatest elements come out first. Okay, so this is about bubble shot technique. Okay, so let's create the program for this problem. Now create a function. Okay, now increase the size like this. Tab and write down bubble shot. Okay, and what will be the parameters? You have to pass the list only. Okay, now count the length of the list. For this, you have to take L equals to length. Here you will pass the list. It will give the number of element in the list. Okay, so use a for loop for I in range, because I will start from 0, and how many pass we have to do? You have to pass the value L minus 1, length minus 1. Okay, so this for loop is for passes. Now you can see first pass, second pass, third pass, fourth pass. For these pass, to count these passes, I am using this for loop. Okay, but in the first pass you have the comparisons. So in the first pass you have 5 comparison, in the second pass you have 3 comparison, in the third pass you have 2 comparison, and fourth pass you have 1 comparison. So for this you have to take another. Okay, so here you will pass for j in range, and range will be L minus I minus 1. Now you can see that each passes the value is reducing to 1. In the first pass you have 4 comparison. Okay, in the second pass you have 3 comparison. In each pass you are reducing the comparison by 1. That's why I am taking here L minus I minus 1. Okay, now I've compared the element. You have to compare the adjacent element here. Now the first position element is compared to the second position. So what is the index number of it? So its index number is 0, and the index number of this is index number of it, and this is 1. Okay, so now compare. If list j position element, this is the 0th index. Okay, a 0th index number is greater than next index number, that will be j plus 1. Okay, list j plus 1. Now I am comparing the first element. I am checking the first element is greater than second element. If it is true, if first element is greater than second number, so in this case they will swap the values. How can we swap? It's very simple. So list jth position element will be equals to list j plus 1 position element. Okay, they will swap the value again, and list j plus 1th position element will be equals to list jth position element. Okay, what I am doing, it's very simple. I am swapping the values. Now if you compare 5 is greater than 1, it means 1 will be on first position and 5 will be on second position. I am doing this. Okay, now the element on jth position will be on jth plus 1 position, means the element on second position. Suppose the value of I initially it will be 0. Okay, the initial value of j will be 0. Okay, now what will be the value? It will be 0, and the element on 0th index is 5. Okay, and the element of j plus 1, that is 0 plus 1, it means the number that is on first index, that is 1. So for it is comparing 5 is greater than 1. Yes, so in this case they will exchange the position. The element on j plus 1 position, that is 5, will be stored to jth position, that is 0th position. Okay, the element on first index, sorry, element of 0th index will be stored to element on first index. So this is the swapping. Okay, so this is about the bubble sort. Now call your function. Call your function, that is, okay, write down here calling function. Okay. For example, you have a list, my list equals to, here you have the element like this: 23, 85, 11, 10, 8, 56, and so on. Okay? And you have to use bubble sort. Write down bubble sort, and you have to pass my list, because at the definition of the function, in the definition of the function, you have passed only list type variables. So that's why I am passing only list type of variable. And print your list. Write down here list after sorting. List after sorting, it will be my list. Okay, now in your program, what is the problem? L minus I. Okay, so you have to remove these values. Okay, now look again. Now after sorting, you can get your elements, you can get your sorted list. Okay, 8, 10, 11, 23, and so on. Okay students, so this is about the bubble sorting. So you have to watch this video again and again to know about bubble sorting. In next video I will tell you about the insertion. Thank you students, have a nice day, be healthy, be safe.